Anything is possible. It started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a family. We've grown.
Hello, I'm Libby Dyson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia. I'm so pleased you could join me today. Today I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to using the timeless tulips and the tulip builder punch. So I've already made these two cards using both of those products, and today I'm going to show you some other tips and tricks to using the bundle. Now don't forget, if you buy the bundle in the current catalogue, it is 10% cheaper. Now you'll notice here I've got a post-it note and I've punched out the tulip, and I'll show you what I do with that. Right, so I just take a post-it note and I bring in my tulip builder punch. Don't forget, these are nice flatbed punches and easy to use, and just slide the lug so it opens. Now you want it so that you've got the sticky end in. Now sometimes you need to just jiggle it a bit when you put it in, and so you want the sticky end to have some sticky on it so you can use it. Alright, so and then I straighten it up a bit and just punch down, and I've got those two bits. You can keep them or throw them away, it doesn't really matter, you don't need them. However, when you take your post-it note out, you have the tulip and the leaf. Now that comes in handy for if you're wanting to ink up and stamp at the same time. So if I bring in some Whisper White and I put my post-it note down, and that's the way it's going to punch out on my punch, and then I grab the two images that will be punched out from the stamp set and I lay them down just so they're inside like that, and flower. And don't forget to lay them down upside down because that's how you're going to stamp them. Alright, and just fiddle around a bit till you get it quite right. Now this way you'll be able to punch the two images out together. So bring in your stamp block and then you're finished with the post-it note. Now this time I'm going to add some Call Me Clover from the 2018 to 2020 in colours, and I'm just going to sponge some colour on that because I don't want it to vivid. Here's another tip with your sponges. They come in a pack of 3 and I keep them in the plastic, but I also have like a fishing tackle box that I use to keep my sponges in. Right, now cut it in half. This way you get more out of your sponges. And then I cut it in half again, or you can cut it into thirds. And there you've got either 6 or 4 pieces out of the one sponge. Now I usually use a punch to staple onto my sponges. I'll just show you an example. So I use a punch and I just punch out the colour and staple it to the sponge so I know that that's the colour I've got, and I don't need to do a new sponge each time. So I'm just going to come in with a Call Me Clover, and because it's such a vibrant colour I don't want too much on my leaf, so just come in and sponge it. Doesn't matter if you get some on your block. So that's Call Me Clover, and then I'm going to use Lovely Lipstick, and it's also a vibrant colour and it's a 2019 in colour, and I'm going to just sponge the colour onto my tulip. And it doesn't matter if you have lights and darks, because nothing's pure in nature. And I'm going to I'm going to stamp first, and just going to stamp down there, and I've got those images. Now I can go and stamp on them again if I want to. Won't matter that this one hasn't come out as well as expected because we're going to layer them. Alright, so and then you just come in with your punch, line it up and punch down, and you can punch the two out at the same time. Now another trick with this is to use it for sentiment. So again, I just lay the post-it note on my card, and this time I'm going to come in with the little sentiment hello from the stamp set and a block, and I'm going to just use the Memento Tuxedo Black. Now this will work for a number of sentiments, not just this one, and then I stamp that down. And there I've got my sentiment that I can punch out with the leaf. Lift up the post-it note, bring in the punch, and I'm just going to come in with the punch, line it up and punch it out, and we can use that for our card. Alright, so there we've got the sentiment. Now we could do the same for the flower, and I've already done one, Happy Mother's Day. So you just stamp as I did before with your post-it note down, put your sentiment down, and then ink it up and stamp. And I've done mine in the middle of a flower. So they're just a couple of tips to get more out of your punch and more out of your stamp set. And we'll go ahead now and make a card. Now another tip is when you want to do a number of the same flower, the same tulip, just do it on a strip. Come in and punch down, and there you've got your flower, and you haven't wasted too much card. Same again, and then I've still got enough there to do another tulip if I want to. So I might come in with some Flirty Flamingo, and we'll just ink up that stamp again, that tulip. Then I'm going to show you some tricks with the stems because it is a photopolymer stamp. Okay, stamp with some Flirty Flamingo. Now I'm just going to stamp down here and see, that's quite nice, and then I'm just going to stamp on the other side, stamp off. And don't forget you can stamp off to get different variations of colour. So I think I prefer the original, and I've done that with some of my flowers that we're going to use today. Now if you've only got a small bit of card and you haven't sort of got a handle on it, just get another post-it note, just a bit, you don't need a lot, and I'm just going to place that down here so that I've got something to hold my card with. Come in with the punch, and it makes it easier for you to line up that flower because you've given yourself a little handle. Punch down, and there we've got our flower. You've made a handle. So there's some tips for using this stamp set that I hope you'll like. Now I've got a couple of other tips as well. So we're going to stamp on this card, Whisper White, and we're going to use the stems. So I just want a couple of stems. Now this one is shaped already, so just put it on your block. Ink up with Call Me Clover again. Now don't forget all these products are available in my online store, and I'd love you to shop with me. Alright, so this particular image goes to the right. So I'm just going to stamp down, and I'm going to stamp again at a bit of an angle and a little bit higher. Alright, so that's one way of getting your stems to be at different angles. The other way is to come in with the straight stem here, put it up on your block, make sure it's attached well. Alright, ink it up. Now I'm just going to stamp off, and I'm going to come in here and add a stem and then another stem, and just by stamping off you can get different variations of the same colour. So again, I'm going to stamp off, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so I've got different variations of that colour by stamping off. And then we need a couple of leaves. I've already got one leaf, so I'll just add one more leaf, still with Call Me Clover. Alright, I'm going to stamp off again. Now this time I might do it twice, and I'm just going to stamp down here. And I find if you line up the bottom of the leaf with the stem, you don't notice too much. We might need another leaf there. And you can cross over your stems just like that. Another tip is when you're stamping and you just want one thing, stamp along the edge of your cardstock so that you're saving card and not using up everything on the one piece of card. So what I mean is, so if I come in with some Melon Mambo here, alright, ink up with some Melon Mambo, and I'm going to come in with my tulip, and I'm just going to stamp down the bottom of my card, right on the edge there. I can flip it over, I don't want those leaves, and I can stamp again. So stamping off, and I've got a very pale Melon Mambo tulip. I can come in and punch that out, and I'm not wasting too much card. Again with this one, come in and punch it out, and I'm not wasting all that card by punching out both the leaf and the tulip at once. I can do the same with the leaves that I've already added here. So I can come in and punch this one out. So I've got that leaf, and then I can slide my piece of card along and punch that leaf out. So they're just a few tips to help you get more out of your timeless tulip and the tulip builder punch. And don't forget, all these products are available in my online store. So we're just going to put this bit of card together now. Now I am going to add a hole to my sentiment, and I'm going to come in with my take your pick tool with the pointed end, and I'm just going to put a hole in here, sponge that comes with it. Alright, so the sponge is really for the die cut brush, but look at this, you can get a really good hole. Don't need a punch. And I keep mine in a wood mount clear case, and then I'm going to come in with some linen thread. Now here's another tip to help you tie a bow with your linen thread, and I'm just going to use some mini dimensionals on the back of that leaf for the sentiment. Then what I do is I take the backing off one, then I come in with my linen thread, poke it through the hole. You should take your pick tool if it doesn't want to cooperate. Right, bring it out, stick it on your work surface that's laminated, or if you've got one of those self-healing mats, and that'll anchor it while you tie a bow. So just tie your bow. Now this is going to be a tulip garden of many colours. Tie your bow, neaten it up. I don't want a really big bow. Neaten off the ends. And there you've got your bow, easily tied. And that's the leaf stamp. Now, just thought I might come in with some Call Me Clover on that sponge and just lightly sponge the edges of that leaf, just like that. Gives it that leafy look. You could stamp the leaf in a paler colour, stamp off several times with Call Me Clover, or just ink the edge. Alright, so that's that bit. Now we just need some flowers. Now I did stamp Happy Mother's Day here, and what you could do is come in and add a tulip that's sort of, you know, off to one side and other tulips behind it, but we're not going to use that today. And there we've got our card. So I might just add some rhinestones to that before I finish. And of course I'll do the inside and the envelope as well. But there you've got a whole lot of tips today to using the Timeless Tulips bundle. So it comes with the stamp set and the Timeless Tulips Builder Punch. We also take your pick tool and various ink colours, and these are the 2 cards I made previously. Alright, thanks so much for stopping by today. Bye for now.